Now, the Gnomes of Stasis, the ever-curious and impulsive tiny denizens of the world. Gnomes, gnomes are ever pursuant of a life of happiness. They believe that life is all one elaborate joke, and they're just looking for the punchline. The first kind of gnomes that we'll talk about are the rock gnomes. Rock gnomes are your tinker gnomes. They have a natural inventiveness about them. They live in the quiet hills behind the Carathian Mountains. A quiet except permeated by random explosions and natural magic events as they go about their inventions that far exceed the rest of the world. They are tinkerers first and last, and they are they graciously welcome any other races and traders into their midst. Rock gnomes also have a history in another place that little people know about. It is the islands of Grey Squall in the Lachesis Ocean. It used to be that the gnomes migrated there in secret, rock gnomes, and there, along with a very famous dwarf named Mazarak, they created what was known then, over 150 years ago now, as the Warforged. When the Warforged were discovered, however, they turned a tide in the war against the heroes, the Flame Runners, and the war decimated their numbers. Now, if you saw a Warforged, even on Greysquall, you'd be a lucky person, for they do live eternally, but there's so few of them left. Now, forest gnomes. Forest gnomes are everywhere and nowhere. Very few have ever seen a city or town of forest gnomes. They of course stick to the forest as their name suggests, but anybody getting near them it often finds themselves lost in an illusion, or maybe they got a peek at a city that they thought was there, but then when they turned their head again, it was not. Forest gnomes are excellent at illusions, and most of them can disappear completely with just a thought. While forest gnomes inhabit most forests on Stasis, they are most prominent, though you would never find them, in the forest of Absaroke, the large forest to the south of the Central Mountains, where they inhabit the very large trees and nature preserve that is set up by the Furbolg people that live there.